Welcome back to CityLine, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the last segment and you're ready to hear more about some of the great things we have coming up in our community. Joining us now is Jabari Owens Bailey, the Education Program Manager at the Museum of Glass, and he is also curating their new exhibit, A Two-Way Mirror. Jabari, this new exhibition just opened at the Museum of Glass. Can you describe it to us? It sounds fascinating.
Sure. A Two-Way Mirror, Double Consciousness in Contemporary Glass by Black Artists is an exhibition that is about exploring Black identity through glass. And it contains artists who are traditional glass artists, as well as artists who've made forays into glass in order to bring about their idea or their concept.
How did you come up with the idea for this exhibition?
Well, that's an interesting question. I am trained as an artist, but I didn't get to start experiencing and learning about glass until I started working at Museum of Glass. And so I came there in about 2019, right before the pandemic. I came to Tacoma right in 2019, right before the pandemic, started working at Museum of Glass in 2020. And as part of working at the museum, I was doing all of these programs where I was learning about the history of glass. But I wanted to find Black people who were also working with this material. Anytime I start to do anything in life, I'm like, I want to see myself reflected in it. And so I started asking some questions of people who worked at the museum, doing a little bit of research, and then came up with a thesis and just started putting together this exhibition. And so it was kind of like an organic process.
What do you hope that visitors learn from this? There's so much going on. What will this teach visitors about glass and Black artists?
Well, I would like to raise visibility of Black artists who are working in this medium. And so I'm a firm believer that once you see somebody do something, it normalizes it. It normalizes it for younger Black people who are looking for a specific type of medium that they want to work in art. It normalizes it for the audience. They're like, oh yeah, Black people make glass too. And so once that has happened, it opens doors. And so I truly believe in opening doors.
If you were to sum up the major themes of A Two-Way Mirror, what would you say those are?
Well, interestingly, I decided to break the exhibition into 4 different sections to explore double consciousness, and that was perception, mind, body, and spirit. And all of those I felt like encompass who people are. And so that was the way that I decided to divide it. But I definitely wanted to bring across this idea of double consciousness, this idea of seeing yourself through the eyes of others. So you have this ability to not only see yourself as you see yourself when you look in the mirror, but also how someone else might be perceiving you as well. And so that's a 2-tiered type of consciousness that Black people or a lot of marginalized groups, they have naturally.
Identity is a key factor of that, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
What are some of the activations, events, and offerings the Museum of Glass are going to have throughout the run of this exhibition?
Well, that's a great question. So we are going to have a few different guest artists doing our residency program who are part of the exhibition, and they're going to do talks as well. We're also doing a podcast series called A Two-Way Conversation. We ended up getting a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts called The Big Reads, and so we're pairing this exhibition with the book Homegoing, and we're going to have events surrounding that, and so that should be coming up soon. We're partnering with the Pierce County Library and working on partnering with UPS as well, and so all of that's kind of in the works at the moment. And at the opening, we ended up having one of the artists, Alejandro Guzman, get inside of his actual sculpture and do a performance. And so we're going to link that to the QR codes in the gallery so people will be able to see that performance as it happened. And so, we have a lot going on.
Wow. Number one, congratulations on the NEA grant and everything that goes along with it. That's a great thing to have happening in our own community here in Tacoma. Now, we talked about this a little bit already, but it's so important to exhibit this show at the Museum of Glass right now.
Absolutely.
Is there any key things with that you want to elaborate on?
Well, I think that Museum of Glass was very open to the idea. I pitched this exhibition idea to our curatorial department, and everyone felt that it was so timely, just bringing this artwork to the forefront. In the wake of George Floyd, we are definitely in a moment where it's all about foregrounding communities of color. And I definitely feel like Museum of Glass wants to be at the forefront of that. And definitely I appreciate that. And hopefully this exhibition can help to expand the audience of Museum of Glass.
Now, you mentioned the one artist who put himself inside of his sculpture. Can you tell us about some of the other artists that are exhibited in a two-way mirror?
Indeed. There is an artist named Layo Bright. She is a Nigerian artist, and she makes artwork that is about her mother's face. But it also is this idea of the Ori, which is a Yoruba idea that is very similar to the soul in the Judeo-Christian tradition. And so she is kind of elaborating on her own personal culture through these pieces. And also the foliage around the head kind of represent the plant life that was found in her area of Nigeria. Then there is an artist, Leo Takaski. He takes these shapes that are commonly found in graffiti, and he brings it to glass, and so sort of kind of giving it another life. There's Radcliffe Bailey, who has a heart that is dripping indigo ink, and it's called blue-black. And blue-black is a terminology that's constantly used in the African-American community, often denoting colorism, but also that indigo ink was a commodity that was produced by enslaved people. And so in many ways, like a lot of these pieces have more than one meaning when you look at them.
I just was enthralled by those slides that went through showing us all those different pieces. How long is the exhibition open until?
The exhibition is open until 2024.
Wonderful. So we've got plenty of time to go down and see it.
Absolutely. Come down and take a tour. We have docents ready to walk people through the exhibition. Some days I'm there explaining things. So, it's a great exhibition to come out and learn a lot about different aspects of culture and history.
I want to pick a day that you're there to have you come and explain everything to me.
Absolutely.
How is glass art changing and becoming more accessible?
I think glass art is becoming more accessible in many ways. For instance, at our museum, we have a visiting artist program where artists submit proposals, and even if they aren't glass artists, if they have a great proposal, we will have them there, and they get from Wednesday through Sunday to create several pieces of work. Then there's programs like the Hilltop Artist Program, which is here in Tacoma, and then also just around the country. There are just these little incubator spaces that are making this oftentimes very expensive material more accessible. And when things become more accessible, people who were excluded before come in with completely different ideas and are able to express those.
I believe we are so fortunate to have so much glass art in Tacoma and the ability for our young citizens to create glass.
Absolutely.
I live right next to Hilltop Heritage, and I just love the fact that we have a hot shop there, that they're able to work on glass there with the programs and everything there. Now, in addition to being a curator of this show, you're also very busy in the education department of the Museum of Glass.
That's correct.
And you run the Hot Shop Heroes program in its 10th year. Tell us a little bit about that program before we leave today.
Absolutely. That is actually one of my favorite programs that the museum does. We offer free glassblowing classes to veterans or active military who have experienced some sort of trauma, whether that be traumatic brain injury or post-traumatic stress or some sort of physical trauma, to come in and learn how to blow glass as a means of healing. When you're using your hands, you're concentrating on body mechanics. You're not thinking about the traumatic events that have happened to you. A lot of people get stuck in their heads. A lot of people become shut in after their service because they have to reacclimate to a whole different world. Civilian life is very different than life in the service. And so it's just a great program that allows people to kind of transition to being civilians again. We start off every evening, the classes are held in the evening with a meal. And so we all sit down together as a community and talk with each other and just joke around and everything. And then after that, we build this team and we go into the hot shop. And glass is a team sport. So much like military service, you're never doing anything in the military by yourself. You're working in this team environment with an element of slight danger to produce these glass pieces. And it's just done wonders for so many of the people who are participating in it.
That's just a beautiful way to celebrate our veterans. I mean, we're right on the cusp of Veterans Day right now.
Absolutely.
And to know that there's programs like this out there
Indeed.
for them, and the communal breaking of bread and just sitting together.
And we have a Veterans Day event the Friday before Veterans Day. And we celebrate the people who are part of our Hot Shop Heroes program.
Wow. Jabari, thank you so much for being here today. I love the Museum of Glass. I love that you're doing great things there at the Museum of Glass as well. And I can't wait to go down and see this exhibit. I'm very excited to do so now.
Indeed, come by anytime.
I will. Now, we still have some great segments coming up in the last half hour of our program. We want you to stick around to meet Rolf and Alicia from Green Trike, the Children's Museum of Tacoma. But we'll be back first with Claire Etheridge to tell us about Tupac and a Hilltop Holiday. We'll see you back soon.